So we are March 25th, 2026, attending a Espanola school board meeting. They're having a special meeting tonight regarding the mold infestation inside this school. They're gonna have a presentation of people that are coming to come and talk regarding the mold here inside this school. They're saying at least 25% of the school is covered in mold, but they're stating that that's false information. That they pretty much have it cleared up. So they're gonna do a presentation here today. How in the world? This school's a maze. I wonder how much this little chingadero cost. I get lost here. Is this where the auditorium's at?
The auditorium
Yeah.
is gonna be over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in front of the gym. You know the gym.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking for something in the gym as well. Just- This one and the next one. This one.
This way?
That one.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, okay.
The specific ones that you sent me, they are.
I'm proud that he's here. Proud that you finally showed up, sir. Is this a Bible music? Is that the finance sheet for public company?
That's the general one.
Oh.
I can sign the one.
Cool. Is is this Bible music?
Sleep music. Trying to get everyone in their zen.
You gotta put on hip hop.
That can go either way.
At least if it's 90s.
Some people it can go good. Just gonna,
With as much profanity as possible.
it'll beep out.
That's just like the peanut from the base layer. But now you want to see the pattern there. Just that hand took it backwards. That's the trunk from us.
Good. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit for like 2 hours, go to complaint right here. I'm here to complain.
Yeah.
And I hope you listen.
And I hope you listen.
I have a lot to say about this. I gotta be here for a while. Didn't I just see you last night? Why I gotta file a police report for stalking. Press charges on you.
Jim Davis. What's that? How are you, school officer? What's that? Yeah. You took Davis? Yeah. How we met? Yeah. 6 months ago. Yeah. It's been 2 years, basically. No, has it been 2 years? Yeah. There you go. Seems like 2 months, but it's been 2 years. So, everybody's happy. We've been able to get accomplished for you guys so far. Oh, yeah. That's it. This is just in case they ask questions. They're not going to how it's going to stop the leaks and stuff. So, we'll do what we can. Our job is to make you guys look good. Yeah. So that's what it's about.
There's not a way that we can squeeze you all together, a la ma. Come on, we gotta do like the council brothers. you gotta touch elbows at least. Speak clearly into the microphone this evening, because I didn't bring mics. Please and thank you. Gracias, señor. Same here, same here.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, guys. Hi there. Nice to see you.
Yeah, that happened Monday. I walked in, they had all my everything in the storage out in the library.
No big old bag. No traiste big old bag como anoche. Anoche you had full, bro. ¿Cómo sabe executive session? Long. Era long. An hour. No. Yo ya estaba llorando. Canta, no llores. I ain't get a trespass from my homie's business. Five minutes. 5 minutes.
Welcome to tonight's special board meeting. The date is March 25th, attendance 6:05. This meeting is now called to order. So now we can get the pledge.
Oh, you want me to do it? Oh, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. A la bandera de los Estados Unidos.
Sustancion, de decirle.
I don't do the prayers.
I ain't know about it.
Just for the record, we'll have public participation, but on the item for discussion, question answer, and then people ask questions. But they have a presentation online. If you raise your hand, we'll ask people then to ask the question, also give the question offline, but the appropriate people will answer. So, people sign up for participation?
This thing doesn't work, just so you know. Has no power, no juice, needs a new battery. Oh, it doesn't even see if it's red, it's dead.
There you go.
Mic check, mic check. Actually, I don't even need this thing for the record. First and foremost, I want to put this on the record. I invited some staff members that work for this school to come and speak this evening. If any of these individuals get retaliated against for speaking their concerns this evening, I'm gonna put the board on notice. I will hire them the best attorneys in the state of New Mexico to come do a class action lawsuit for retaliation for them speaking their concerns. I don't believe that should happen. I don't believe that's what the school should do. These are parents, staff. They're here to support the kids, and I don't tolerate retaliation on people. People that do that are cowardly. It doesn't matter if it's the board, it doesn't matter if it's their supervisor, it doesn't matter if it's a coworker, and they want to retaliate against these people that will be speaking tonight. I'm gonna put the board on notice. We will file a class action lawsuit against this school district. With that being said, I don't know what's going on with the Chimayo Elementary. I got some information regarding from some parents concerns that you guys condemned part of the school. You guys didn't let parents know about it. It was done like a last minute thing. So whoever was in charge of that slipped through the cracks. I know it's probably already been a while since it happened. It was also brought on social media for me to bring up Hernandez Elementary. I guess certain lights aren't working at that school. If someone can go look at the lights there because they're not working. I just wish Christian Lopez was here. He's in charge of security. In the state of New Mexico, when you get your security card, it doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter if it's a security guard for a private business, it doesn't matter if it's a public school, but the securities aren't allowed to touch anyone. Doesn't matter if it's a child, no matter if it's an adult, nothing. They're only here to observe and report. If they see anything, then they report it to law enforcement. They're not entitled. I've been to a couple of basketball games and I've seen these security guards trying to block kids from celebrating or stopping them or whatever. I think that's ridiculous. All these security guards say is because they want to go fight these people. Well, I've been to some basketball games and I never seen that. That's all I have to say. I hope this presentation resolves the issue with inside the school. I hope these parents get the actual, factual, real answers to the questions that are being brought forth to them. Because it's really easy to put a Band-Aid on something without curing the actual issue. You can do as much as you want. You can send out letters to parents as many times as say there's no mold. You can do all kinds of different stuff. But until the problem is solved and it's cured and everything is corrected and done with, and we just sprayed all kinds of Clorox. These parents that have children here, the staff that work here, the teachers, whatever the case might be, they need to know what's actually going on in this school. And stop putting Band-Aids. That's all I gotta say. Thanks.
Hello, first of all, thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm here, and I would tell you, I never would have thought I would have been here, except now I find myself raising my grandchildren. So that's why I find myself here today, and concerned for my grandkids. I have a granddaughter that comes to school here at Carlos Vigil Middle School, and my concern there, I have a couple of concerns, but this was one of them, is the mold. My concern with that is she is a 7th grader, and this was the area that was part of where she was located at. She also has asthma, so that made a big concern. She has been sick throughout the winter. I have had to take her to the doctor several times, but I didn't know that it was mold. We were testing for flu, testing for other things. Had we known that there was a mold concern here at the school, then that would have been at least something for the doctors to go to. And I say that because it's my understanding that the mold was detected since October, but it wasn't let out to parents until, I believe, February, until it was coming out in the newspaper. So my concern is communication. Now, I'm not sure how much you guys may have known what's going on or what isn't going on, but communication is key. I know we can't change the past. What's happened has happened. Thank God my granddaughter's doing better. She's fine. But my concern is we have a lot of aging schools, not just this one, but there's aging schools, and mold is something that we have to deal with. Maybe not just at the schools, but at home, but we have to deal with it. My hopes is that as a governing body of the schools, that you would put in place a policy of some sort, that communication goes out to parents when there's concerns like this, no matter what those concerns may be. I mean, we get text messages, we get messages when there's a lockdown, or when they're doing I guess like a rehearsal of a lockdown, so that we know what's going on in the schools, but we need to know also health issues as well. So I would hope as a body that you guys would create some sort of policy for the staff. I know that the staff can only do what the staff is allowed through the policy, so perhaps you need to take a look at it so that communication with the parents is essential, in my view. Okay? On a different concern, now that safety was brought up, there is several times I've come to this school and there's no guard. There's no guard at the entrance. I drive right through. I go straight through the office, or in some cases, my granddaughter comes and meets me at the car, which is a surprise. So, I mean, that is a concern, especially because you don't know what, these days what can happen. So, I don't know how many security guards are supposed to be in place here, but I can tell you, and it's not always at the same time that I've had to come to the school. It's different times of that's what I have found. So I want to bring that concern to you. You guys have been enacted some rules in the school. I know that there's a dress code. I know that there's a phone policy, and I can tell you that there's a lot of your staff that is not implementing that policy to the students, because there's videos out there of stuff going on in the school. That's how one of the reasons I found out of the mold, because there was pictures out on social media from the students. So, I mean, not that I'm happy that I was able to look at those pictures, but the fact is these are kids that are not supposed to have phones in school and they still do, which makes it hard on me as a grandparent, trying to tell my granddaughter, no, you can't take your phone to school. Well, why can't I? Everybody else does. Why can't I? The teacher lets us use it. Why can't I? So, I mean, I think that's something you guys need to really let the staff know that you guys make these rules, they need to be enforced. And I know the enforcement comes from the principals, vice principals, and teachers, but those are some of my concerns. So I do hope when it comes to the mold, because like I say, these are aging buildings across this district, and I really hope that you guys can do something to make sure communication is key on that. Thank you.
Anybody online wants to speak? Next on the agenda, presentations, letter D, farewell. I think you're New Jersey.
Mr. Sheldon, can you hear us? Yeah, okay. If you want to go ahead and get started, just to clarify, Airwell is the company that's been doing the tests for mold. They've done all the tests that we've done so far this year, including the latest one that was done on March 11th. So Jeremy, if you can just talk about how your tests are conducted, what you do, what your company does when you come in to test for mold.
So first off, we went into every classroom that we could find, did an inspection.
Can you guys share up?
Hold on. Or can I put this one there?
Okay, go ahead, sir. Sorry.
Second room, we went rooms, the gyms, locked rooms. I'm sorry, is that?
He's breaking up. He's frozen. It's his software. Can he call in? Can he phone in a friend? Can he call in?
Or you can try it again, go ahead.
So we would go into every room, do a visual inspection of the space, including anything like stained ceiling tiles, building materials, everything that we could see if we could find signs of visible mold.
Can you start over from the beginning? Start from the beginning.
Okay, I can really hear you too, so starting it, we went originally in October, for specific rooms, that had either maintenance or facilities that identified as or had problems with water treatment. We would go into each of those identified rooms, do a visual inspection, noting building materials, any possible suspect we opened up the ceiling tiles and looked at materials that could possibly and then sampled the areas by order that were
Go ahead.
And so basically what we did is we did the inspection followed by recognizing of any suspect hole. And then where that they had concern, if we couldn't see it, we also did a air sample in that room. Basically it's using a vacuum pump to vacuum air at 15 liters per minute for 5 minutes over a sweat force course. That was what we did originally. We notified or identified several areas that did have mold at that time. And then we went again. We did one on March 11th. We also did one in January. And we did second grade green at that time. And we went through and looked at all seventh grade green, doing the same things. Did identify some areas that still have not been completed, and a new area that we have to sample before that we have elevated towards, and visible. Came back with that, and then recently we just did the same. We had our moisture meter, our relative humidity meter. Trying to see if we had any elevated humidity or moisture. Didn't really find anything because we didn't have any recent rains at that time. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. And then we did some new spots this time. We did both the 8th grade and 7th grade things. So also areas.
Is that it?
that it, Mr. Shelby?
Yes, it is.
I got a question.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is this a joke? I mean, because, this kind of sucks, to be honest with you. You with such an important matter like this that's happening and the level of, for one, this is way more what we should have done this a long time ago, which is first happened. For two, as we contracted these folks to come out and do their work and whatnot, we've asked for Q&A and a presentation for parents, students, and everybody to be informed of this is what we get. Online, like I said, this is not a joke. You know, I said that, it's not a joke. Like, this is ridiculous. This straight up sucks. And I do apologize for those who came out to be informed, to ask questions, to put on technical difficulties. People online, because I guess they just don't take us serious. Yeah.
Speaking on that, I think when it comes down to health and safety of our students, I think we all take that pretty seriously. And I think that level of seriousness, I would like to have seen played out here as well, by the contractors, being that it is such a serious issue. Sorry that that didn't happen.
I'll just reiterate what everybody's saying, this is embarrassing. We're paying good money for contractors to come and do the work here, and this is what we get. I'm sorry guys, but I'm very disappointed, I'm sorry to the people that came here too.
I'm also worse, just a little bit, let's take a little piece of, but then I saw something from 18 years, and the kid who's going to, I've been here 12 years, he's over here. But I guess we'll just move on to the next,
Mr. Shelby, can you hear me? Jeremy? So, going back to your testing reports that you did back in October, the initial report, I guess, is that the first one that you did?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at page number 2, and the numbers that are the concentrated count is it fair to say if those numbers are high, that it's probably like a high concentration of gold or whatever that you guys want to go to?
Can you guys mute Joseph Casados? Because it's interfering. There you go.
Can you start again there, Jeremy? Your internet service, for whatever reason, is cutting you off, and you keep coming in and out.
So, I'm just pulling up my report here for October.
Like a slideshow would have been nice. The work that they did would have been nice.
Reports, how the reports for you know as well, the general public? I'm sure you guys would like to see the reports that we're talking about.
Yes,
You know,
Yes, please.
like a slideshow, like.
Mr. Report President, the one that I can address the public if possible, those that did show up, thank you for your time. Would it be better that they show a presentation, that you guys be informed of everything, instead of what we're doing here, to table this meeting and come back? Or, I really want to be adaptive to you guys. I can't, it's done.
just add a couple of things just for some factual information. I had, I know board member Salazar Torres asked for this presentation at February board meeting, correct? And then what happened is I solicited some 4 different times from the board members for a date and time so I could reach out to the people to get feedback of a good date. I didn't get feedback. Board member Salazar did reach out to me finally, and board member Martinez finally at the most recent meeting. So I went ahead and just scheduled it for today. I reached out to everybody here. You know, JP Roofing's here. I know Mr. Atenzo's here. I know Salomos Mold is online as well. Mr. Sheldrake from Airwell, and Mr. Casados from Kiers. And I reached out to them and gave them the date. I invited them. We contacted them all, and unfortunately, they can't all make it in person tonight because of whatever reasons they gave me. But I made my attempts to get everybody here. I made everything I could. I apologize again for for them not being here. I can't apologize for them, but I am just saying that I did everything I could to make this happen, to get this at last minute. I've invited the key people here tonight. I did my part to make it happen, and it's not going very well. I understand that. But I just want to clear that up so that everybody understands what the process has been to make this happen tonight.
To your question, I would like to ask questions. I understand that we're having difficulty with you asking when we want to. I would like to ask questions, and maybe those could get considered if you do decide to table it.
Okay, so we'll just, we'll skip, personally, like the slideshows, so we can see them a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because before, I've seen the numbers, but so many general public hears numbers, it's kind of hard to understand, right? So, we'll just wrap it out after the meeting, if everyone else has, we'll call another one, and we'll let us clear the case. Then let's, very important to all, we want answers, we want to know, make sure everything's okay, so. We'll go on the next on the agenda is Kiers, being online, or?
It would be better if they called. If they would call someone. It's their internet. It's their internet. It's their Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's on their side. But if they could call in instead of that, it would be better. It's just that their Wi-Fi is what it is.
Who is here?
No, it's not working very well. Let's see if we can, talk, Joseph. Let's see if we can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Joseph Salles. We are contractors to go to the home remediated by Espanol Public Schools. I think we believe we started back in December. I think it was for Christmas break. We go off the reports, they're all gives us, and the room numbers and stuff. We go out there, we isolate an area, signal quality, they get their machines. We identify the areas, put plastic
Good evening. Can everyone hear me?
Hello. Just hold it like a microphone.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board, superintendent, the other guests that are here tonight. We were asked to come up and explain what we're doing out here. We're a commercial roofing contractor. We specialize in K-12 institutional work. So we work across the state with various school districts. The first picture up there, I just wanted to show so that if you weren't roofing, you could get an idea of what is a roofing assembly. So if you look up above you, the bottom piece is that fluted deck. Above that deck sits a layer of insulation, and then you have a roofing material above that. So when a roof leaks, it leaks down through the roof itself, gets to the layer, and it'll travel most of the time 3 or 4 feet till it finds a joint in the insulation board, and then it'll drop down to the deck, and then it can travel in the flutes of the deck, and it'll show up wherever there's a joint in the deck, a penetration from conduit or something of that nature. Can we have the next slide, please? So as part of our due diligence, we were asked to roof these 2 classroom sections off to my right. We did an infrared. We hired a third-party infrared company to come out and scan the roof, make sure that the roof was dry, or if it wasn't dry, where was it wet, so that those materials could be switched. So if we go through kind of quickly on the next couple slides. This is a report from Monroe Infrared. We've worked with this company for over 15 years. They're probably the most professional infrared company in the state of New Mexico, probably in the Southwest. This is them giving their certifications, the level of their qualifications. They document the conditions at the time of the infrared because that's important. We need to have temperature differentials. We need to have documentation of was it a good clean scan. Next slide, please. So then we go to the roof drawing. So if we look, roof D would be to the left of us. C and B are 2 small roofs by that metal roof. They're on either side of it. And roof A is the far one to, I believe, the east. So far, we've done roofs D, C, and B, and we're about a quarter of the way through roof A. That's just an overview of what work we're doing. Next slide, please. So what they're looking for is anomalies. So this is building A, and if we look at the anomalies, the areas that are colored is where we suspect moisture took place. So they do an infrared, and that detects the difference in the heat. Water holds more heat than the surrounding materials. So that identifies to us that that's an anomaly, that's a potential area of wet. It could possibly be a false negative or a false positive. We don't know that till we actually go out and cut the roof and do our core investigation. So that was some of the anomalies on roof A. There were some additional anomalies. Those are right next to areas that had previously been patched, and we suspected that the tie-in between the patches and the existing roof were not performing as intended. Next slide, please. There's another large area next to a patch, so we know the moisture is leaking in under the roof. Now, if you think about this assembly, it's a built-up roof. It has a perlite cover board, and then 4 to 8 inches of insulation below that, and then a metal deck. Most of the time, the moisture is trapped in that top layer of perlite because that tends to absorb moisture. The polyiso, which is the underlying insulation, does not typically hold moisture. Next slide, please. So there were 4 anomalies that we found on roof A, which is the roof that we're currently on. Next slide, please. Building B, it was towards the corner. We attributed that to flashings that had been damaged. The wall flashings where the roof turned up the wall, they had split and moisture was getting in there as the water ran down the wall. Next slide, please. You can see that moisture has been traveling. We saw the first one was in the upper right-hand corner. Now we see additional moisture by the side of the unit. We attributed that to the roof flashing at the curb of that unit. Next slide, please. There we are in the built-up area, so again, it's up against the wall. In this case, we identified that it was the wall flashings that had failed and was allowing some moisture into the assembly. Next slide, please. We go to building C. At the far end of it, which would be at that far end, there's a narrow, skinny little piece. We found some moisture next to the drain, please. And then in the field of that area, we found a good amount of moisture. So on the roofs B and C, we tore those roofs completely off down to the deck and replaced everything. New tapered insulation, new cover board, brand new membrane. Next slide, please. Building D, there was an anomaly next to the patch. We poured into that. That was wet. Insulation and extended our cutout at least 2 feet past the area. It was found to be wet. Next slide, please. Additional anomalies attributed to both the patch and the wall. Again, those were all cut out and removed and replaced. Next slide, please. Another anomaly next to a patch and next to a curb. This is typically where we find these areas, and these were also cut out and replaced. In between the two HVAC units, you see a larger area. Most of that actually wasn't wet. They had piled gravel up when they put the patches in there, and moisture was just sitting in the gravel itself, but it wasn't wet underneath the roof. Next slide, please. One other area up towards the wall, but again, next to a patch area, and we attributed that to a failed tie-in between the patch and the original roof. Next slide. I think that should be the last slide. That's the end of it. So our role has been to identify areas that were suspected of moisture, remove those areas, cut them down to the deck. In some cases, we found some minor deck corrosion. The primer had been rusted off, so we cleaned those decks, we primed them, we buffed them clean, and then we primed them, and we're in the process of wrapping up a roofing project for you all. We intend to have this wrapped up within the next 30 days. Any questions or comments?
What time of the day was it?
I'm deaf, I'm sorry.
What time was the bridge taken?
If we went back to the first slide, so we took the initial flyover right at dusk. We wanted to get pictures, good clean pictures of the roof. And then the infrared is taken, there's a window that opens up depending upon temperature and depending upon wind speed. As the heat's being released from the overall roof, there's a window that opens up, and that's what the thermographer does, is he constantly checks that roof. He's looking for that window to open up where the roof has released all of its moisture, but the areas that are wet because water retains moisture, those remain hot. So most of those pictures were actually taken at night, about, I think, 30 to 45 minutes after sundown was when that window opened up. It all depends on where we're at. I'm not a thermographer, but I've been to enough of his. We attend all of their investigations. We've just learned over the years about the window and how it opens up.
Yeah, 'cause we used to do that up in Los Alamos, and we used to do it like you say at dusk. That's why I was asking what time you guys did it at. But you guys, I was wondering if maybe you did it first thing in the morning or at noon, or if you did it in the evening, that's when we used to do it, so.
Yeah, I mean, infrareds by the ASTM standard are done in the nighttime.
Yes.
Usually right after the sun sets. You wait for that window to open up, just depending upon temperature variations and wind speed and a few other things.
Yeah.
That tells you when the window will open up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Can you mention the roof drains,
Not a question, I just want to say thank you for the presentation, we appreciate it.
Okay, and just to wrap it up, when we're done, we will be testing all the roof drains just to make sure that there's no leaks between the connection between the drain bowl and the actual building. That's the final step that we do.
First off, thank you for your professionalism and being prepared for this meeting, sir. Am I to understand, or is the public to understand, that every anomaly that you found has been or being addressed, whether or not there was moisture found? Are you addressing every single anomaly?
We even do random cores on areas where there wasn't anomalies found. Just it's what we do.
Okay.
That's the nature of our business.
And what is the percentage of your project currently? Do you How close are you to finish?
We're on the last section. We're about a quarter of the field of the roof. Probably within the next 2 weeks, if weather allows. I hear rumors that there might actually be rain next week, which will slow us down, but we'll take the rain. We should be completely done by the end of April. Demobilize, take it from there.
While you were on that roof,
Yes, ma'am.
was there any dust or anything to the vents or getting to the classrooms when you were scraping it or what you were doing?
No, ma'am, we typically will close off vents in the area that we're working, and where they can't be closed off, we put charcoal filters on the air intakes to ensure that any disruption is minimized.
So what kind of roofing materials do you use? Is it TPO?
This one is TPO. It all depends on the specifics of the project and what the needs of a client are. Espanola Schools has got a lot of TPO down, so we want to ensure that we keep the same materials, so there's standardization for the school district as far as maintenance, repair, and future needs for the district. TPO is the dominant product that's installed on commercial roofs.
The whole roofs of TPO, no patches,
No, it's all being replaced. Yeah. When it's done, we can email you pictures. We have servers that have all of our pictures on it. We can certainly allow the board to access that so they can see the progress of the project.
Again, I want to thank you also for your professional, you're here, and I look tired, I've been working all day, so you're here, you're helping us, and it's easier to see it on the slide, because having this, it's nice to see it, right? So it's nice.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to do business with the Espanola Schools. We've worked with you folks for many years now, and hopefully we can continue that relationship. We'll try our best to earn it every day. Thank you.
If I may, I just have a question. While the roofs were being repaired and while you've been doing have the students and the staff been removed from these infected areas?
Any question?
The question was, while you've been doing these repairs on the roofs, has the students and the staff been removed from these infected areas? Or have they still been remaining in the classrooms?
There's no, in fact, you're talking about the mold areas? The areas that tested positive for mold?
Correct. And they've been repairing the roof as well?
Yeah, there hasn't been any students in those areas.
We coordinate.
And relocated.
Basically, just to briefly with this, when we went and had the walkthrough, there were students in those wings.
Or you're talking about,
When we went to go look at those vents and all that,
there's no,
individuals were working on the rooms, and we had kids in those rooms.
That's
So I asked
in the rooms. Are you talking about,
when we went to go look at these issues,
so
that I came and walked the campus with that day.
in a dangerous area? About an infected area?
No. He asked if kids were
Mr. Martinez, if I'm correct, you said we had kids in those wings while they were working on the roof.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, we had kids in the classrooms while they're working on the roof. There was some noise, and we heard the noise, but they weren't in any danger. If there was too much noise during the day or it caused a disruption, some classes were moved to a different area while the construction was taking place. Right, and when if there was a disruption, kids would move to another area. That's been the case.
Okay, my concern is because again, my granddaughter has asthma, so even dust and stuff can affect her at times because of that. Especially if there's a chance that the dust that might be coming off the roof could be mold infested. So that's my concern. That's why these kids are still out in that certain area of the school.
Yes, sir. Quick question. I think I missed part of the presentation, but what was the source of the anomalies? Did you ever determine where the source of that water? What was the source of that water? Was it from our own equipment, our conditioning equipment? Was it from nature?
We would have attributed most of it to just failed roofing, where if those pictures you can see cap sheet roof and then the surrounding area is different. That's a gravel surface built up. Where those two roof areas were tied in, over time they just released because the materials are a different age, slightly different composition from expansion and contraction. Where you saw it along the walls, that's typically where the wall flashings had pulled loose from the wall. These buildings are moving, they're living, breathing organisms, expanding, contracting 24/7. Eventually things start to pull apart. And a lot of it was hidden damage, because gravel covered the tie-in, so you couldn't see anything until you actually scraped everything back, and that's when you saw, this is where it's coming from.
And lastly, what kind of warranty do you have for it, sir?
You have all of our work that we do for K through 12. We provide a 20-year material and labor warranty from the manufacturer.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I have one
One more moment.
I know something. We can take a picture of dust and kids going to home and dust. Where did this dust come from?
It's been very dusty.
I don't know where you. In fact, what is that dust?
We use the weight room a lot on the 7th grade side, and our lungs and sinuses plugged up, very dusty in there on the 7th grade side.
It wasn't just dust though, it was
Building material.
visible, gross stuff.
So, there was one day when we had 40 to 60 mile an hour winds. Can you guys hear me back there? No?
No.
Let me. Can you? Okay. Now you can hear me. All right. So there was that day that we had the 40 to 60 mile an hour wind. So J3 had left the job site because it was too dangerous for their people to be on the roof. So what happened was they were removing the gravel. So the 40 mile an hour winds actually pushed in the filter. So the filters are right on the edge of those heating units. And dust did come in to 2 or 3 of the rooms. So that's the dust. Yeah, that's the dust that they witnessed. So dust did come into 2 or 3 of the rooms.
Was it a communication shared with the staff or the parents that, because people were,
I
don't think that conversation was able from fiberglass to dust particles to mold. We got every answer.
Yeah, I know you did, and then I saw the photos and I tried to answer, I think, on the, but it was the roofing, the gravel from the roof, it pushed in the filters and it went in through the heating units down into a couple of the rooms. So it was basically the dust and the gravel from the roof that went through. And J3 was not present at the time. They wouldn't have their staff up there with that amount of wind. So it was cleaned up. The guys got up there and put the filters back the way they should have been because the wire pushed in and it pushed in the filters, and that's basically what happened that day. As for the communication, I don't know if Ms. Olson communicated with them or that's. Do you have anything to add about the filters? Did you help out with the? He didn't help out with the filters. Okay.
I don't know how to raise my hand. Okay, I'm sorry, this is Miss Olson.
Hold on. Miss Olson's here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good evening, Espanola School Board, and thank you, Mr. Campos. I want to say that in regards to this issue of the dust, as soon as it was, when we came into school the day after and that dust had blown in, we contacted Mr. Campos, the superintendent, Ross, Tito, and they were able to come in. And that day, they went up, they did find the filters that, and we took the initiative to move kids out. We had our custodians mopping the areas where there were dust, where there was dust. And so it kind of was ultimately like the perfect storm of the roofing company had to get down because of the high wind and leaving the dirt on the roof. And then, the filters blew in, and yes, it did affect some of the classrooms, but I just really think it's also important that the reaction from the district was appropriate, in my opinion. They came, our custodial staff cleaned up the dust, and yeah, it did take work, and yes, it was kind of a bummer, but we were able to move our staff at that time. Knowledge that maybe that stings to have to move your classroom and students have to move, but we did respond. The district did respond. Our custodial staff did respond because of that dust that did come in. And so I just want to make that clear that when that event did occur, the district and my school, our school, did take action right away to do the best we could to remove the students, to remove the staff, and clean those areas. So I appreciate your time and hearing me out. Carlos Vigil is an amazing middle school, and I just feel it's important to reiterate that fact also. Thank you.
Quick question, Ms. Olson, but the question was, did staff communicate with parents and kids to let them know that the situation happened? Because right now people are on pins and needles, things might be true, they might not be true, but everybody's worried and everybody's concerned. And I think, did that ever happen?
In terms of the dust on those days, it was taken care of. We wiped any dust down. So for the dust that came in that circumstance with those high winds, we cleared it off. And for that, we didn't notify that there was dust blowing. But in terms of the mold, I was told by Superintendent Ron from when I became principal at Carlos Vigil Middle School in October, in mid-November. Every time that there was information was sent out to staff, to Synergy, to all the families. I think even this week, I sent out the 4th email to all students, staff, and parents because I numbered each email that I sent out. And so 4 emails regarding the mold, along with the PDF of aerial tests, were sent to every family, every staff member, and a text message was sent out, and a robocall was sent out, and additionally a hard paper copy of that information, both in English and in Spanish, was sent home with the students about the progress of the mold. So, I'm just trying to make it clear that we have been, since we were told to communicate with the parents and let them know, we have done issues of the district, and we have sent out every information, the summary, the mold report from Erica. We have here students and families. So
thank you.
Sure, I'm glad. Sorry I can't be there tonight, but I wanted to chime in and just let the community know, and you board members, that we are working to take steps in any of these concerns that parents or community members have. Please come to the school, come see what's happening, come speak to our administrators there, because we are proud of our school and what has the progress we are making for our students and staff. Thank
go to the Solomon Smoke Inspectors, I think they're online.
Hi, can you hear us?
I got some questions of
Hold on.
repairs that you guys are doing. Okay? And it's obvious from some of these areas of the roofs that you did this inspection that the water's pumping in those areas of the roofs.
They weren't ponding, it's not ponding water. The roofs actually have pretty good slope out of built into the tapered insulation. So that's where water has gotten in. Like if I look at that picture, I'm gonna assume it's probably the base flashing to the unit to the right and that tie-in all along that patch area where.
But basically that roof is flat up there.
What's that?
And the roof flat.
The roof deck is flat. The slope is built into the tapered insulation that's up there.
And it's sloping to the middle of the building.
It's sloping, everything's sloping to the drains.
Well, it's obvious if we're having water issues, it's pumping right there between those two HVAC units.
Well, that's water that's trapped underneath the roof. That's not surface water. All right, that's not sitting on top.
You have to drain right there, then that's the case.
Well, no, typically the perlite board.
I'm insinuating that probably the roof probably has failed and it's not draining properly. You should have had some sort of like maybe an elevation check. You guys were getting proper drainage off the roof, so we don't have that body issue or those issues where the water is.
I guess the analogy I would make is the perlite board that's the cover board underneath the built-up roof is like it's like if you throw a towel down on a spill, it absorbs across it, so it's the water absorbed underneath the roof in that top layer of perlite because the perlite is very water absorbent, so it'll take the water and it'll suck it up. So that's why it shows the way it does.
If it's getting absorbed, where's the water going in after that?
I'm not quite sure I know how to answer that, so I'm sorry.
And then a lot of inspection details that you showed seem like there's a perimeter also, against the walls. Is that where we're seeing some things happening also?
So that the roof comes up the parapet wall and terminates approximately 12 to 13 inches above the roof field with a metal counter flashing. Below that, where the built-up was turning up, some of those areas had failures. Either the laps had split open or somebody had kicked it, it had been damaged.
Next, we're going to the Solomon Smoke Inspector, if you don't mind.
May we be excused? We've got to drive back to Bosque Farms.
Thank you, sir. Have a safe trip.
Okay. Thank you all.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. Do you guys know what perlite insulation is? Have you ever seen it? Okay, well, the way we used to put it in Los Alamos, it's about a 4 by 8 piece of insulation, and it comes in different thicknesses. So if you cut it, it turns into a real fine dust. If it gets wet, it turns into like mud. So I wanted to ask that lady that was talking about them cleaning inside the rooms, how did they clean the perlite? I'm assuming it was perlite that blew in there. Because when you take it apart, it just crumbles right up. And I don't know if they vacuumed it, if they mopped it, if they wet it and kind of cleaned it up. But that particle is just always in the air. I don't know if they use a HEPA vac, I don't know. But they should be cleaning it a certain way if it's inside the classrooms. I just want to tell you kind of what that is. Urethane, well, that's the same thing, but it doesn't crumble as much as it'll actually break into pieces. So that's not too bad. But perlite, it's bad stuff. I don't know why they're putting it on this roof.
Is it correct to understand that roof and there was nothing done, or you guys weren't doing anything with the interior walls or walls in the school?
I'm sorry, can you say it again?
Is it correct to understand that J3 addressed the roofing and not anything to do with walls?
As far as exterior walls?
Interior.
Or inside walls?
Inside.
We don't go inside walls, or roofers. You never want to let us in the building.
Is J3 coordinating with Cures? Like, are you guys working together? Like you're saying, hey, there was damage here, this installation's wet and moldy, can you check it out for mold? Is that like something that's happening?
They're working under a separate contract.
So they don't have
So there's really not a lot of communication. They're working inside the building, we're outside the building.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So next, we'll solve this old inspectors, go ahead.
Hi guys, how are you? Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I didn't take slideshow if you want to share my screen. Otherwise I can just talk either way. But, so we are health informed assessors, not just regular inspectors, because of what I went through. I grew up the best thing, so our goal is to bring education of how mold can make you sick. So today I just wanted to share some common symptoms that people can get, especially kids, and headaches, allergies, asthma, anxiety, depression, insomnia, trouble focusing, can be misdiagnosed with ADHD, stomach aches, behavioral issues, chronic sinus infections, suicidal ideation, for kids, psychotic one, and for adults, frequent variations. Like those can be for adults or kids. Another thing is if your symptoms improve over Christmas vacation or over the summer, that's another common thing. I know a lot of parents are familiar with peanut allergies, and people would not give peanuts, even peanut butter sandwiches in the classroom anymore. That only affects 1 out of 50 people. It won't affect 1 out of 4. So it is a really big deal. And we were not able to see the report or anything of what kind of testing was done. I would like to know anything other than your testing.
Can you guys hear us?
Can you hear us okay?
Do it again. We're trying to fix the volume. Say something.
Can you hear us or no?
Yes. It's like muffled.
Yes, we can hear you.
So, yeah, I did a slideshow that I could like show that, so I just read off the symptoms and everything, but what we do is different than just air testing. I'm not sure exactly what testing was done, but you know, air testing is just, so hopefully there was, I think he said there was some surface sampling as well, but we just want to bring awareness for the health aspect of it, because there are some students and teachers that have reached out, are having symptoms. So when some people say, like, they're there and they're not affected, that's normal, because it only affects 1 out of 4 people. But if there was a peanut allergy, like, I just want to bring awareness to that, because like, they wouldn't even have that in the classroom at all. So another thing, because we're health informed, like when we recommend something for remediation, I'm pretty sure remediation will attest to this as well, is you have to remove everything for it, like carpeting, books, everything for it, otherwise it can cause contamination. And all of these go on with that.
Hey, I'm Dennis, you guys can all hear me? You don't have to get up, it's okay, a thumbs up is fine. I'll continue on, so we can.
Lower it a little bit further. Yeah, lower it a little bit, because they're a little.
You, red camera is on.
Right there, it is right there.
She said she had a slideshow.
And then we work also with the mediation companies on, and talk to them one-on-one on what's the best outcome. So we look for the source of
Dennis, you're muffled a little bit. Can you call Carl on his cell phone and do it off the phone?
And then if Jen can do the presentation that she had, the slideshow, if you could do that as well. What's your phone number, Carl? You don't know your own phone number? Call this number. Call this number, Dennis. 505-901-8055. Just leave it there, Katrina, and use that microphone that Carl has. Okay. Go ahead and mute. There you go. Mute yourself there. Mute yourself. Can you mute them? Yeah. All the way up on your phone? Are you on Bluetooth?
Can you hear me? Okay, so I'm gonna continue. Can you guys hear me clearly? You want to start over? Okay. So, what we need will be, I'm going to go through the assessments, the visual inspections, use moisture meter, infrared camera for the source of the issue. So we look for areas that with deficiency that could cause moisture intrusion. And then we know what our suggestions are, and then we also have our remediation company that we work with to also help them remediate, get with the air flow and all the following and all that stuff. So we work with that. We also find the source. So I'm just going to say here, I'm flying on that one right now. We don't know the numbers. We don't know if there's any bulk sampling or any case sampling, any swaths. If it was just air, if there was any dust sampling, that would help identify the heavy holes that people with surge and chronic inflammation response syndrome. So that's on so one thing I have is like when we're dealing with a lot of places that we want to look at, and the school would be one of them. When you have the roof being repaired, so you got to identify the source. So let's say the source is the roof, and we need to patch those up. That means that if we're taking any kind of testing, that would kind of show you what you have right there in that moment in time. And that would trigger you for further investigation and remediation at a point where you're not going to be redoing anything. So with the roof being patched up and repaired, if it's not patched right now and you're working on the roof, I'm not the expert on the roof, so I'm not going to, but we want to make sure that, there's no more further leaks so that you can work from the inside out now at that point. So that would be getting rid of your force items, cleaning the systems so that they're not going throughout the schools, removing the steel panels that show prior water damage. We don't know how far it goes out, but we have that. And if people are getting sick or not feeling well, and having symptoms, a lot of times that is triggered on that individual. Now, also, you would have to do a heavy particle cleaning, so you can't just get rid of it just by removing that. So we need to do that. I'm going to look down through my notes here, just give me one second. The last time we were there, we did note that we did notice prior water damage, so we were there. Right now, we see it, and I mean, again, what the information we have is, if we have a rainstorm in the meantime, while roofs are being paid, we may have the same issue without being resolved from the inside out. So we have you can tell that roof is actually completely 100% done and fixed. And then the remediation should be done at a later date. Otherwise, you're air testing it again, and you have the same potential issues. So you have a possible coming back to trees, coming back to water damage. And, by the time you're actually opening it up, you don't know how
Mr. Sheldrake, can you answer that?
Jeremy's talking. Can't hear him.
If he did that, then that's awesome. Like, it does need surface sampling. The reason being is, and the principal mentioned about the dust, is certain types of mold create mycotoxins, which are poisons. And when you inhale them, maybe 1 out of 4 people very sick. So they're heavy and they fall to the ground. They will not show up on your chest. They won't. I mean, if they do show up, it's a huge problem in the air. Air testing is just a snapshot in time, and this is like contamination. Normal results do not equal no mold. Like I said, water damage rules are heavier, fall to the ground. What we saw in our area, we saw ceiling tiles last meeting that water damage after remediation, so they weren't removed. Still can remain or retain moisture and microbial fragments. And children and teachers are still symptomatic. So airflow, I know about the 7th grade wing, but if you have the same HVAC system and it hasn't been cleaned and you're not done remediating completely, that's going through the whole HVAC system. So the contamination can spread. It can spread all over the whole building. So, you know, it actually works more a swab test, a test, dust sampling, and then this is what I was explaining before. Why are only some people affected? Because we get this a lot. Like, well, I'm fine, I'm here all the time, I'm fine. But it's just like a peanut allergy. 150 people have peanut allergies, 1 in 4 have mold sensitivity. It's a genetic disposition. 1 out of 4 people have it, and it makes our bodies harder to recognize it and remove toxins, and it makes us where we cannot detox. These are the common symptoms of mold toxicity: headaches, allergies, asthma, anxiety, depression, insomnia, trouble focusing is always, most with mold is always misdiagnosed with ADHD, behavioral issues, chronic sinus infections, suicidal ideations, bedwetting, recruitment. It's not 1 or a few of these. Everybody is multi-system, multi-symptom, but in different people present in different ways. And there's probably still a lot more actually. So yeah, but what we were told and what we've seen, we would recommend more testing. But now after hearing everything else, we have a little bit of a different, you know, hearing what we're not being completed yet and everything. It's definitely going to be different, but that's all we got. But we just want to bring education outside of it because we needed it. We went through it for 5 years, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in and out of hospitals for my 2 girls and myself, and we just want to make it clear that mold is bad. So.
Thank you for your presentation. Any questions from the board?
You're welcome, and sorry you couldn't be here. We're in Wisconsin right now.
Questions? Thank you for your presentation, for your informative. Thank you for taking time when you guys are out of state. Educate us. Thank you. Next, we have
there were certain rooms that no thermostats, some were cold, some were hot. No indication as to why. We're not seeing it. Maybe you might have an answer to it or any idea what. But it seemed like in one wing, certain rooms were cold, another room was hot. Not getting any type of refrigerated air or
Okay, the question was, how come there's hot and cold calls?
Yes.
Well, Tomas asked us to check it out. We did a walkthrough. And if you notice, when the roofer showed his aerial view, there was HVAC units. Well, there's a total of 11 of them up there. They're air handlers. And each air handler does up to 5 or 6 classrooms. And I guess a couple years ago, they're pretty new. And Honeywell did all the controls. It's all controlled by a DDC network. And the reason why there's no thermostats in all the rooms is the way Honeywell did it is they have one sensor in one of the rooms. Out of the 5, there's one wall sensor, and it reports to the DDC controller and tells the air handler to either warm the zone or cool the zone. And the DDC controls, they're not working right. And that's why some are working and some are overheating and some aren't heating at all. So Tomas isn't, well, Tomas is talking to Honeywell now to why isn't the program working and the heating valves aren't working right.
So basically, if it continues like this, we're gonna have to be constantly calling.
Well, we have to get away from Honeywell because right now they have, they're pretty much married to them because they don't give the school or the IT guy all the information that he needs to so they can do their own settings and change parameters, type of stuff. So we need to get the credentials from Honeywell, get the passwords so that the maintenance guys can do their own settings and programming, or we can also assist them with that. But we don't have access to it. That's why we're stuck at that point right now.
And then we've got people that know how to work at it, like as far as I understand.
Well, we're working with them as well. We're working with Ross and the other maintenance guys and the IT guys to where we're all going to have access to the program, and they can look at it, and if there's a zone valve that's not working or whatever, then they can call us to come and change it or see why it's not actuating. But that's why the air handlers are all pretty new, and the controls are new, but it's not working right. The program's not working.
Follow up to that, have we requested the credentials? And what's the ETA of that?
Well, Honeywell's being real stingy with their information, because I was actually with the IT guy a couple weeks ago, and we called them, and they wouldn't give him any information on the passwords or the credentials. They told him to have a meeting, and he told them, well, we don't want a meeting. We want a meeting. We want the password. So right now, I think Tomas is in the process of Honeywell's getting you the information, right? I think Honeywell is responsible for giving Tomas the credentials he needs, the passwords, and access to the network. And they're not doing it. And they didn't provide a sequence of operation. So we pretty much know how it's supposed to work, but there's no diagrams, there's no literature, there's no sequence of operation, there's nothing to go by. Nothing, there's no information whatsoever. And they keep wanting to charge the schools money to come every time that something has a glitch. And basically, and making sure that the valves respond and the air respond when there's a zone that wants heating or a zone that wants cooling, and that's not happening. So today we turned the boilers off because they were getting hot. So that's where we're at this point. That's just one of their one of their ways to get out of it. They come up with excuses. They say that there was a power outage, or there's a controller that's broken, or they say that there's a valve that's not working. And they're saying that it's a maintenance issue, which the air handlers they're in pretty good shape. They're pretty clean.
So, Chris, kind of along those same lines, I understand you're quite familiar with our HVAC systems in this building.
I've gone through a lot of it, yeah.
In your opinion, are we, in terms of functioning and everything else, ADC, DF, and where are we? How systems we have?
Well, the air handlers are, like I say, they're pretty new and they're pretty clean. They're in pretty good shape. It's just a matter of getting the valves and the actuators. There's fresh air dampers that bring in fresh air. They have to know how much fresh air to bring in, so they have the proper air changes in the areas for clean air. It's indoor air quality. All those things are there. They're just not working right, and it's all in the computer network. And it's pretty complex. I don't have any slides or anything that I could show you at this point, but it's all on the Honeywell network.
They're not providing a service as we purchase.
That's right.
Yes.
They're not providing a service as we purchase.
And IT, Mr. Fetzer talked about this, Andrew Trujillo with IT has been also working closely to try to get the software situation taken care of. And we've been at them sending emails again today. We're not going to pay the invoices at this point until we get what we need, and it's been extremely frustrating.
Yeah, it's not for me to say, honestly, but I think the school should put more pressure on Honeywell. They're not providing, they're not giving you your money's worth. Yeah, they are. They're not releasing any information for passwords, credentials, and access to the network. And I overheard a conversation because Tomas called them, and they told him that the controllers needed to be fixed. So I don't know what that means. They need to be fixed. If that needs to be reprogrammed or what that means, but it's basically making sure that all the network is communicating with all the devices, with all the moving parts, and that's not happening.
And I don't know if you're aware that this building was built in 3 phases in several years. The 8th grade wing and the 7th grade wing do not have similar teams.
No, the 8th grade has standalone. Each classroom in 8th grade has its own separate standalone heater. There's 20 of them. The 7th grade has a hot water system with air handlers, and that one's way more complex. So we can make it work. We're a DDC, we've been trained in DDC controls, but if we don't have access, then our hands are tied. You have to have passwords, credentials, and the IP address. And, yeah, so that's where we're at now, and we're going to see what Honeywell provides for Tomas as far as the passwords and all that goes. Well, that's a good idea, because if you do the paperwork and do the paper trail from the day one when they gave you the scope of work and what they were going to get paid for, and did they actually provide that service for you? And was it completed? Did anybody sign off on it and make sure it was working right?
So I can't say that has 2 years before me, but what Chris noted is at one time this section had Johnson.
Yeah, this school at one time had old air handlers. They were old and deteriorated, and they had Johnson Controls DDC. So when the schools hired Honeywell, I guess their contract was to put new air handlers with new DDC controls. So they did away with JCI and they put in a Honeywell. It's a Niagara 4 Honeywell, and they have control of the network, basically. And that's Tomas's. His hands are tied because All he does is call me and tell me, hey, there's a hot cold call, and we're like, hey, the control's not responding. So.
I think our best right now is just having someone there, someone else, and get stuff there, so we're working on that.
And then whatever we can do to help Tomas, he knows that we're available.
Thanks, Chris. So next on the question and answer, we're not going to have you answer questions, we'll have to ask you a question. We'll take note of it, and then we'll have Mr. Tomas or Mr. Morano answer. Through email, that's what we do, then we can. Or a question on that, you can enter in the chat, and we can get it. Courtney, keep hopping off the chat recording, and we can answer, and maybe put your email. How do you want to respond?
If I may, Mr. Chair, those that are here, all the information, for example, from Arabelle, here's J3, and the Rosales Home Inspectors, all this information, and we can get it emailed to us, and then what we do is pass all that information on to you guys, since tonight was a little bit muffled and crazy. Know you guys have it, and you guys get pretty informed, but if you can give your email address, and pass it along. Sure, absolutely. I want this to be more informative, so we can be informed, know what's going on. I know we've done presentations the last 3 months since I've been here, and you know, this pieces, but everything that we got, upload, pass on to folks.
And just staff, if any of you don't have any copies of the air well test, because it also has remediation, I don't know if it has a remediation effort, so we'll get that from Piers, but we can get that to you as well. But all of the, in fact, the most recent one as well, the latest air well test, we have that uploaded to the website as well. So all of the air well tests with the complete reports are on the website as well. But anything else you need from those reports, just let us know and we'll send that in. Any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
This thing don't even work, or does it work? I say you fire Tomas Campos, you hire me, I'll get this ball rolling on Honeywell, ASAP. You fire him, and then you fire Carl, because Carl's over here saying, it wasn't me, nobody's putting the money. This presentation, when you do a presentation, you do a slideshow. Your staff, I've been to school board meetings, and your own staff does an amazing presentation. They have slideshows, they do their thing, it's well aware. You stated, Carl, that you called people and you told people about that's the point. And all this has been going on for a long period of time, not just October of last year. You're talking about years prior. And only came up to the attention last year because the New Mexican and the Albuquerque Journal wrote an article about it. This has been going on longer than last year. Who knows how many students are affected by this? Like I stated in my public comment, instead of putting bandages and putting information out there, make sure it's factual information, true information, not the public to see and say they're doing this and they're doing that and this is going on. For example, this guy, what's his name? Jeremy, whatever his last name, from Airways, didn't bring anything to the table. I don't know why they weren't asked for a presentation. Joseph Casado, same thing. There wasn't a presentation made. But it's better to get factual and logic information. That's what I do. I get factual information and then I post it. But it's better that you notify the actual truth of what's going on if there's still mold in this. My question is to Jeremy. Since the first day that they stepped into here to do these testings till present, if there's a difference as they've seen since the first time. And then Joseph Casados, I'm not sure what his job duties is. He's with Cures or something like that. Cures, right? And he can also send documentation since they first started
working here at this school, the progress till right now is present. That would be awesome. Yeah. It is, but if you could see that it's copied and pasted. That's how I see it. That's how, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna copy. I feel like it's not true. I feel like it's more of a bandage that's covering it because you just want to let people know that it's not safe. I see it different because it has the same lingo, same wording, kind of. It just looks like they just move the words around, but it's stating the exact same thing. I have seen it. Yeah, yeah. That would be good. Yeah, that would be better. Okay, that's all the questions I have. My Jeremy and Joseph, like when they started, what?
So ask the question, then I'll also get the answers and email it to Mr.
Okay.
You
Okay.
have email address as well?
Courtney does. I do IPRAs here like every day. I gotta make sure everybody's on top. That's it.
Anybody got you guys have a question, you want to email, or you want to just email?
Yeah. I would highly recommend you talk. No email. They're here. Let them.
Can or will the
Yes.
Leanne Archuleta?
That's right here, right there. There you go.
Leanne Archuleta? Can or will the district compile the airwell report so that it's clear that all rooms in the school have been tested? Because I find when I'm going through it, it's using on the clerk room numbers. How is the district informing previous staff members or students that are no longer at the school site? How does a staff member confirm that they have mold exposure? Los Alamos mold inspectors presented on information, is that specifically just for students or also for staff? How long? What's the effects of the exposure over durations? 1 year, 2 year, 3 year for students and for staff? Is this information given to staff or students? Can it be given to students and staff? What resources are provided to staff and students regarding the mold exposure, like things that we can do to, from here forward? What should we expect in the future? That's all I have. Thank you for your time.
Hello, Ashley Vigil. I just have, I guess, one question. I don't know if it's for Jeremy or Joseph, but I'm wondering, why were you wearing PPE while you're here? If we didn't have toxins here, why did they get PPE? Why wasn't PPE offered to the custodians who were cleaning? Or teachers, for that matter? If they had it, that tells me that it's toxic. I'm not a scientist, but I have some education and some common sense as well. I also have just a hypothetical. Let's say it's 2025 and an employee happens to point out mold. An employee at district office, let me mention that. An employee at district office points out that there's mold in their building. What do you think might happen if an employee did that at district office? I don't know, but let's continue this scenario. Someone comes in and does a test in, let's just say October of 2025. They do a test. What do you think would happen for those employees at district office? after receiving this positive test.
You mean central office?
Yes. Again, another hypothetical. There's another test completed in December. That one reveals mold in district office, central office. What do you think is happening with those staff members there? Then they decide, well, you know what, hypothetical, let's fix the roof because it's had leaks in the past. Hypothetical. They come in, they fix the roof, all of a sudden all of this dust and particles come onto a staff member, or let's say all of district office at that point receives dust and particles on their desks. How would that be handled if this happened at central office? If central office was having to sit in their offices in 80-degree heat in their rooms, how would this be taken care of for them? Again, hypothetical, hypothetical. Just want to put that out there. I think our kids deserve better.
Staff, take care of your home, and it's hard for you guys, but thanks for speaking up for your fellow peers and for your students. And I was thinking it's for the students, but it's also for you guys.
Students are number one,
Yeah, you guys are
as they should be.
I don't know, as a board member, as a parent, you guys do care, so thank you again for speaking up and voicing your concerns, and we'll get you to answer your questions, hopefully sooner than later. Anybody online have any,
I have a concern. No, I can talk loud enough.
For the record.
All right. Claudette Cordova. I'm a very concerned mother and grandmother and aunt. Okay, here comes the mother part, right? I'm sorry, Ashley, but you know, I get a call, Mom, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. I drove myself to the emergency room. I don't know what's going on. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And I said, Mijita, how can I help you? How can I help you? Pick up the kids, get the kids, Mom, from school. Call Tomas, tell him to come down from Los Alamos. They're checking me. They're doing blood work. They're checking me out. I'm at home as a mother. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? I don't know what it is. I wait and I wait. 5 hours. 5 hours she was in the emergency room. Okay, they gave her, she has asthma also. And here we are on a time frame. Here we go again. They knew in October about positive mold. This was in January. She wasn't feeling good. She went to the emergency room not knowing what was going on. They send her home 5 hours later. She was throwing up. Her eyes were burning. Headaches. They send her home from Espanola with something to get at CVS for her stomach because it was so upset. Eye drops for her eyes that were burning, and an inhaler for her asthma. Look at other things, but that's all they found. She was crying. She was upset. What do you mean that's all they found? What's going on? I don't know what's going on. To find out that the New Mexican goes and puts it on a paper, and then that's when my daughter tells me, Mom, there's mold. There's mold at the school. And I said, oh my God, what if it's that? What if it's that? They didn't know what to test for in Espanola. When you go in with a stomach throwing up, you don't know what's going on. I have a daughter that has had to see an allergist, a pulmonary, doctors left and right. And thank God, she took it upon herself to look it up to how to make herself feel better, finding out about this mold. So it is a timeline that someone has to be accounted for, not telling the students and staff and not getting them out of those classrooms. I'm sorry, that's where I'm angry about. That's what I'm angry about. Somebody knew about it and somebody didn't say. And learn from it. Learn from it.
I just gotta say one thing. My name is Steven Lona. This is one mother. This is one mother present. I received over 250 people, parents, students, before the Albuquerque Journal and the New Mexican aired this stuff out regarding this. They sent me pictures of all this before I aired it out. Like I stated at previous school board meetings, I would highly recommend you guys shut this school down and fix the issue, 100%. The longer you do this stuff here, the bandages that you guys have just been putting on, whatever the case might be, it's just gonna damage these kids even more. And till this day, I recommend that you guys shut this school down, send them to the high school, send them somewhere else. For the meantime, till the school is brought up to code and the mold will never be removed, but at least the mold will be cured and protected, and these students wouldn't get sick or the staff wouldn't get sick. Listen to these people. That's all I'm gonna say.
Anybody else online? Closing remarks from anybody?
Just closing remarks. Thank you again for coming. I know y'all were very concerned, and I apologize if this, like I said, was long overdue. I know that the blame, the pointing fingers as well, when they told me on the schedule, but this back and forth crap doesn't matter. It's fine to schedule, and we're here, right? So it should have been done a long time ago. Just schedule something, inform everybody. Period. Thank you all for coming. And I want all this information out there for these folks to have.
Just want to reiterate that what has been, thank you guys for coming. Wasn't exactly what we expected it to be. I have toured the school and I'm still having concerns with issues that I see out there, and hopefully we address it sooner than later. And I basically our kids are our world. Be my person. Thank you again, guys, and we'll just try to save them all. That's all I can tell you. What's your number?
Our staff that's here and parents that have come in, listen to our forum of questions, answers. Unfortunately, your answers haven't been, we don't have answers for us. We would give you guys at least some kind of answer. Another thing, Mr. Lola, thank you for bringing up other people's, our parents. We as a district need to put a survey out there for our staff here at the junior high and for the parents at the junior high and see what their thoughts are of if we should be moving students. If they feel, as a parent and as a board member, really feel it's dangerous in this school, we put a survey out there and see what our parents and our staff feel, and then let's move forward and address it. Exactly. Huh? Yeah, it's been our students, our parents, and the staff. Just kind of hard as we feel to see what we can do so we can make sure that they feel safe and that way they feel that they're heard. So unfortunately, we don't do a good enough job of getting our surveys out there and actually listening to everybody. We do have for certain things, but not for everything. So let's do this and we can get that something out there for them and appreciate it.
Likewise, I just want to thank you for coming out. behalf of the schools, I apologize for the IT issues that we had. It's quite embarrassing, in my opinion. The health and safety of our students and staff have to be number one priority at all times. I myself, hasn't been that long that I've been on this side of the table, but rest assured, I'm hoping, I'm praying that we solve this issue, and that will come a time when we're not going to pray about this. I mean, it's hard enough educating our students without having to worry about their health. Thanks for joining us today. I wish it was a little bit more square, but we can do, again, the quick report says the health and safety of our kids and our staff is number one priority. If we're working on a strategic plan right now, that's one of the statements that we have. So, you should go to work anywhere, you feel comfortable, you feel safe, that's for students and for kids. As a parent, I would want to send my kids to school safe, healthy, and positive environment. So I hope we can get some of your questions tonight, a little bit at ease, we'll continue to work it if it was not done. Always works, but we're going to continue to this is, like I said, we feel comfortable as a unit, as a board, as a family. We're all the same team. That's the team we're really safe. So again, thank everybody, Chris, for coming, and we're going to keep this all, so those first keep everybody on their toes, and that's the questions. Well, we're going to answer your questions, or any issues, please email Mr. Ronald. This announcement is a regular board meeting, as April 2nd has been canceled, we still are the 9th, so meeting, so on that. And that was the motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, say